Okay, so open up a new document, File New, and go to Print, and you will be able to bring up an A4 page. This is your base, okay? Once you've got that, you need to upload all of your pictures that you've took from your sketchbook. So I've got 3 here that I'm just adding. They'll come up on different layers at the top, but you're going to have to put them all onto one document where it says New Project. So I'm just copying and pasting each image over to my new project. So that's one done. I'm going to enlarge it, so you go Edit, Transform, Scale. Sorry, this is quick. You can replay. And I'm going to put all 3 onto one document. So I'm just doing that quickly. So Edit, Scale, trying to make them all the same size. Now what will be happening here is that each image will be added to a different layer. I'm going to show you layers in a little second. And we can alter each image separately, even though now it's on the one document. So Scale, File, Transform, Scale. So that's all 3 now. Now, here's my layers. If that doesn't come up, if you go to View at the top next to Filter, you can bring up your layers. So we've got all 3 now. So imagine they're on 3 different pieces of acetate. So you've got 3 different images. When the eyeball's there, you'll see all, and when each layer selected, you can work on each separate layer. What you're going to have to do now is change and play about with the opacity, so you can go dark and light, okay? And you can move your layers on top of each other so that one goes on top of another so you can see them through. Okay, so just see what works well with the 3 images that you've got. I had this drip effect, but I wanted to take away some of the background, so I'm using the magic wand tool, second one down, just to take away. You can click and then press delete, click and then press delete, and it will take away. Or, there it is there. Or you could perhaps use the rubber tool if you wanted just to kind of freehand, so the eraser tool there, and take away more. So I'm kind of rubbing away and taking away some of that layer so I can see some of the other layer underneath. You can see here. Okay, so I'm starting now to fuse my images together to create one picture. Now I think that drip's too big, so I'm going to scale it down a little bit and bring it over to the top corner. So you can have to play about with size and play about with the position and see what looks good where. If you're selecting that layer, you can move that layer. I'm going to change the opacity. See at the top here, I'm going in and out. And I'm going to move that layer on top so we can see the handle coming through now. Something quite nice to do is the levels. So if you go to Image, Transform Levels, you can play about, and it just sharpens it up a little bit if you move in the arrows. Just can really deepen the colour. So I'm positioning, if you see me here, I'm moving my layers on top of each other just to see what works. Now at the top where it says levels, if you go to, if you click on that, there's lots of different options. You can just have a little play about and see what looks good, depending on your image. I'm darkening mine here, and you can click on it again, and let me see, I'll show you. Yeah, there's like different types, linear burn, darker colour. Just have a little play about and see what looks good. And then I'm going to work on my drip again, bringing it back in and positioning it somewhere different. Just didn't quite work out there, but I quite like it against that straight line. But it overlaps my handle a little bit, so when I've positioned it here, I'm going to go and get my rubber tool again, make sure I've selected on the drip layer, and I'm going to take away with the rubber, and so my handle comes through, see? And then I like that background part there, so I'm going to take that away and darken that bit up again. You just need to play about with your positioning, play about with your colours, play about with your opacity, play about with what layer goes on top of what layer, and just see what looks really good. So I felt like mine needed a little bit of extra. I needed a bit of colour, so I've just added in a 4th picture for a 4th layer. Not sure how it's going to work, but I'm just going to have a little play because I really like the blue. So I'm just going to position it into the corner. Playing about again with the scale. Now obviously it looks like it's kind of too big here, but when we lighten it and we play about with the opacity and we play about with how different layers can look, that's really starting to take shape now. It's too big. Let me move it around a little bit. Pull it down. And play about with the levels. It's too dark. Bring it a bit lighter now. Go back to the opacity, I think, and lighten it. Now, I like it there, but you can see the soften, like you've got that sharp line, so soften your edges. Just get your rubber back out so you can rub away and take sections away. Yeah, it's starting to take shape. Now, I feel like it needs a bit of balance in the top left-hand corner, so I'm going to just select a little bit of that blue colour. I really like that blue colour, and just enlarge it. Move my layer below, just enlarging it so it's just got a little bit of blue in behind, so we've got a bit of balance. Double click on that. Play about once again with the opacity. And that is me. I think I'm done. Now to save it, you go File, Export, Export as a JPEG, and that will save.